The stakes are high and needs are more complex when running an established consumer products brand. You've got mounting pressures across multi-channel sales, complex supply chains, inventory across multiple warehouses, and leadership needs fast, accurate data to make decisions. That's why leading brands partner with Baker Tilly, an accounting firm that specializes in the consumer product space. Their team understands the unique challenges of scaling product-based businesses, whether it's navigating transactions confidently, sales tax compliance, integrating ERP systems like NetSuite, or predictive analytics. Baker Tilly delivers. Discover how Baker Tilly's industry-focused services can help elevate your business. Visit bakertilly.com.
So you guys just moved your tariffs or your manufacturing from Spain to Italy.
That's right.
So I'll tell you what I know about Spain and Italy, and you tell me if this is still accurate.
Okay.
So I know they both have really struggled for, it feels like decades with high unemployment. And there's a lot of regulations.
Yeah.
So I know that they're kind of similar in that way. They're two countries that are very divided among themselves.
Yep. Like
with Barcelona and Madrid in northern Italy and southern Italy. And they don't, there's a lot of little contentions because of all the history there. So what was kind of the big reasoning between moving it from Spain to Italy, the manufacturing?
That's a good question. So we, as we worked in Spain, the factories there they're all very small factories. They're nothing like China, right? China has these massive factories that they're just this workhorse with tons of people. Where in Spain and Italy and Portugal also, there are artisans. They really love their craft. They pay very close attention to detail and stuff. And so, as we were working with the factory in Spain, and they had some troubles, and we said, this is a good opportunity for a chance to move over to Italy or Portugal and look at some other countries to produce our product in. And Italy is known as kind of the world leader in quality luxury footwear, right? They do a great job with dress. They do a fantastic job with these kinds of shoes here.
Apparel and cars.
And as we've been working with them more and more, we've recognized that they are really high quality into paying very, very close attention to how the product is made over Spain. Spain was a little bit more laissez-faire with, kind of their processes, but still, great product. And Portugal is excellent in making sneakers. So most of your European-made sneakers come out of Portugal.
Oh, interesting.
And they still use Italian leathers and components, but their factories, something that I didn't know when I first got into this industry. I thought that a shoe factory was a shoe factory.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so specialized.
Yeah, they could, a factory can make tennis shoes, and then the next day make a dress shoe, then the next day make a pump. And that's just not true at all. I had no idea, right? And so learning that and seeing how the different countries work has been super important for us, and recognizing where the best place really is to buy the shoes.
So you started doing this before all the tariff wars began.
Yeah. So we've been in business. We have a few brands as a company. Journey is our women's brand. That's all made out of China.
By the way, this is so interesting. So I was at your office. Your amazing office. For me, we talked about this. I'm kind of a big Taft nerd.
Yeah.
I came across Taft probably 8 years ago in a magazine. I said, "What the heck is that?" I was like, "That is it almost reminded me of stance socks in the fact that it's you've learned how to dress up the entire category.
Yeah.
When other people, I don't know why people haven't done it more, with beautiful designs on shoes and everything else. Everything is so simple and stupid. But I was immediately hooked. So going over and seeing you guys in your office with all the prototypes of products that will, come out or may not make it out, was really interesting meeting the designers. But then it was even more fascinating was to go to your warehouse and see how dominant, like how many brands you had.
Yeah.
Journey and these, row after row after row. And I want to get into it a little bit later about like the manufacturing. That's so impressive with how it kind of put together. But it was, it's really cool to have like a brand that's like a cutting edge fashion brand be from like a local area.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare. And so you have to be kind of on the fashion edge. So how do you do that though? How can you always be like on the edge of new fashion? And like, I'm just kind of looking at some of your stuff and I'm like, I don't know if I could just come up with these type of designs all the time, but I'm always impressed with a new iteration.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting.
Yeah. So we, as we've made shoes more and more with Taft, what Corey and Mallory Stevens started, we've been able to bring in some of our best practices in making shoes and producing shoes.
Yeah.
And
do you say that you're like the number one drop shipper of like shoes or something?
Yeah, so we're the top drop shipper with a lot of our customers.
Wow.
We work with companies like DSW, Macy's, Nordstrom, Dillard's.
Insane.
With some of those, we are the largest drop shipper. So we'll ship a little over 3 million pairs of shoes a year.
So tell me about the history of the parent company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So you've been there for 17 years.
Yep.
So back then, was it still a behemoth or is it kind of smaller?
No, we were a lot smaller. So when I joined the company, we sold everything under the sun. I mean, truly, Jeremy, if it could ship, we would sell it. And we started out going to kind of off-price shows and looking for different opportunity buys.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold vacuums, jewelry, barbecue sets, watches,
kind of like an overstock or something at the time.
Kind of a little bit. We sold on overstock, kind of a thing, and we'd go buy these products, and as we sold them, once they sold out, an opportunity buy, once it sells out, it's gone. You can't go back on it, right? And so, as we were doing that more and more, we learned that, man, we needed to take control of our own destiny and make a brand that we own. Because it just wasn't sustainable long term.
Yeah.
And as we got into that, we learned that footwear really started to click for us and do really well. And
so were you at the time, were you like a liquidator?
No, not really a liquidator. We would buy from liquidators.
Oh, you'd buy from liquidators.
Yep, and then sell it online. So
okay.
It was a lot of, as I mentioned, opportunity buys. So we would bring companies also. There was a brand that we brought to the internet, and they came to us and said, "Hey, we don't want you to sell on this one retailer anymore." And so we're like, "We have the inventory. Are you going to buy it back?" And they're no. And so we said, pound sand. We're just going to keep going the way we're going, right?
Is this like how TJ started?
I don't know how TJ Maxx started, but probably.
It'd be very interesting because it feels like it has kind of the same genesis.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting story.
But online, right?
Yeah, online, yeah.
So
even cheaper.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. So as then we started in drop shipping, and the founder at that time was like, let's give it a try. Let's try it. And so we were doing really well with that. And as I mentioned before, our basically supply was running out. And so we started our own brands and really focused in on footwear and took off from there. So,
did you start with Journey or who were some of your
Journey? So we had two brands that we originally started with in women's, which was Journey and Brindley.
Okay.
Brindley was kind of sold more to your Walmarts, Targets kind of company. And then Journey was sold more to your DSWs and Macy's, and over time we've consolidated all those brands into our women's brand is Journey. We recently acquired Birdie's, which is a great brand, and then Vance is our men's kind of opening price point made in China, and then Taft is our luxury boat brand.
And Taft is it relatively new to you guys?
Yeah, so we purchased Taft a few years ago. Corey and Mallory Stevens designed a great product. We got to bring them in-house and kind of merge best practices.
Wow.
You mentioned earlier of the designs and being bold, and how do you even come up with this stuff, right? So it doesn't happen by accident. That we're looking through thousands of swatches of fabrics and seeing how we can integrate them within our product. And
so interesting. It was so interesting. There was one shoe that kind of caught my eye, and your designer was saying he almost kind of beats it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that kind of is that like a new fashion coming in?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of brands out there that have a distressed, look coming out of the box. I mean, it can be as far as looking like, it's 30 years old and was worn by a construction worker too, but it's brand new, right?
Yeah.
And, that's very fashionable, fashion forward, type of concept. So yeah, we're looking at everything, so.
And one thing that was very interesting is you said that you live really close to where you're at. Is that just kind of, did that happen naturally, or do you just kind of feel like I've got to just kind of be there when it's, I'm running the ship here?
Yeah, I got lucky to live close to the founder of the company, and so it naturally just happened that we stayed, that we wanted to work close to where we live.
Oh, good.
And so we've stayed in Draper, Utah, and it's provided us a really unique thing. We have a lot of employees who've been with us for a long time, even in our warehouse, and that's just unheard of. Yeah. So it being out in Draper in the suburbs, for those that don't know, our warehouse is there, and it's provided us an opportunity to have those employees also work where they live.
It's really nice.
And instead of going out to the airport, the warehouse district, and competing against Amazon and eBay, everyone else, So
I mean, no offense to anybody that goes out to like the warehouse district and stuff like that, but it always gets me a little depressed having to go down there. I love the ability to kind of like spread it out in different communities, right? Because it just gets too, I don't know what it is. It feels like an abandoned, I don't know, even though it's not abandoned, but it's how many square footage you had to the ratio of the actual people that are working there is really off. And I like kind of mixing it in. So it's kind of refreshing to see that in the middle of Draper. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Detroit.
Oh, interesting.
So I grew up in Detroit and never thought I was born in Utah, but never thought I'd live in Utah.
Yeah.
But we love it here.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Like Detroit itself, or like a
suburb of Detroit. So
I think I asked you this before, but so our favorite show by far in our family, and you have to watch it on VidAngel because otherwise your kids are going to develop some really bad habits, is Detroiters. And it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life with Tim Robinson. And it's definitely one of those cities that's like, even though we're only like one time zone away from them, it feels like a whole different world. Like from Utah to Detroit, I don't feel like I know anything about Detroit.
Yeah.
But it's just like this mega city and everything else. But did you enjoy growing up there?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Detroit in Michigan and Detroit area's heyday, right? So like sporting, Barry Sanders with the Lions.
Oh, that's right.
The Tigers were playing really well. Pistons, Detroit Red Wings, right? Hockey town.
Oh yeah.
Pistons with the Bad Boys. I grew up with the Bad Boys, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I know that everyone outside of Detroit hated Detroit. Yeah. But man, Detroit embraced that team.
Detroit basketball, especially when the Bulls would come into town, you could rough them up.
Yeah, it was awesome. You had Lambeer,
John Sally,
and Sally Rodman.
Lambeer was amazing.
Thomas.
That's back when they had no offense to basketball now, but to me, it's not the same as what it used to be.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah, back then it was just like I don't know what it was. It was something. It was hard to actually make the shot because they allowed you to play defense.
Yeah,
and so it was like. It was more beautiful basketball.
Yeah.
And it was less about the individual player, but this character teams like Detroit was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas. By the way, I am still mad at Michael Jordan from keeping
the dream team. I know what you're saying, the dream team.
I can't even believe Christian Laettner.
Yeah.
Even as like a kid who was 12 years old at the time, I was like, that guy got totally screwed. Why are you grabbing Christian Laettner out of Duke and putting him on here when you have Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like that was probably like one of the biggest, I don't know, just like one of the saddest histories in the sport.
For those that don't know, I mean, Isaiah Thomas is one of the top
ever
point guards. Like
he was so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all those Stockton and Isaiah Thomas going back and.
Yeah,
But I don't know what Jordan had against them other than Thomas played a really good defense.
they hated Detroit, right? Like,
Yeah. Do you remember
Detroit walking off the court, in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
And they lost, and
That's probably what it was.
I think he just hated them.
that Detroit also had that one team, that championship team that came out of nowhere, with Ben Wallace and all those guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that to me, I didn't even remember like Chauncey Billups back at the time. I remember thinking none of these guys are even that great.
Yeah.
But together they were like amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, that was some good times.
Yeah, it was good.
So you got out to Utah and you started working with about 17 years ago.
Yep.
And then you just kind of slowly moved away from selling ladders and random stuff.
Yep.
Got into shoes. And tell me, why did you pick Taft? And then I want to talk a little bit more about Journeys too, because that's obviously a massive area for you.
Sure. Yeah. So Taft was Jeremy Pope, our founder, who actually passed away a little over 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Met with Corey Stevens and they got talking, and I think they were it was more of a networking, just let's talk. We're both in the footwear industry.
Yeah.
And as they talked more and more, Jeremy was like, hey, we can really help your company with stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think Corey was at that point to sell his company. And so
it's the founder's exhaustion.
Yeah. After a while.
You get to a point where you're like, okay, I've got to just, I want to make sure my baby's taken care of.
Yeah.
But it's time for me to go do something else.
Yeah. I mean, entrepreneurs are awesome at, starting a company. Generally, they're not great operators.
That's true.
So I think it was an opportunity for him to use our operational excellence and see the brand grow that way.
Yeah. I mean, think about like all the details that you've like come across when operating, from just like efficiencies in, and like going back to like just the simple conveyor belt that you had, which is not so simple, by the way. So fascinating because I've never seen this before, and I'm sure it exists at other places, but the reality is you have a belt and you've got a shoe that's going past you about every maybe 2.5 seconds.
Yep.
And it gets pushed off, whether it's going to be shipped off to, to Target or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, just it's incredible.
Yeah.
And then it gets shrinked and everything else. It was so impressive.
Yeah.
Did you first off, how long have you had a machine like that? And how do you program it to work like that? What are kind of the details behind something like that?
Yeah. So
it was very sophisticated.
Yeah. Very. When I first started with the company, if you saw where we were and where we are now, it would even be more impressive. We used to print labels and staple them to pack slips, and it was all paper, right?
Yeah,
we'd walk into 30,000 sheets of paper in the morning. Someone would have to start printing at like 3 a.m. They'd be printing and printing and printing, and then the crew would come in at 7 a.m. and just grab a stack and go pull it in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
And we've done everything from tables to racking, and we kind of eventually found kind of our secret sauce in that.
Yeah.
And as time went on, as we got bigger and bigger, and to scale, we needed that technology.
Yeah.
And so our operations team did a fantastic job of working with a local company here in Utah to put that together.
Really?
And it's been really cool to see where we used to be and where we are now.
Talked about customized. It's not like you can just pick up a machine like that anywhere.
No, conveyor belts they're stupid expensive.
Okay, I don't even imagine.
They're stupid expensive when you get into it, but they pay themselves off fairly quickly with labor and stuff, and we didn't really reduce our workforce a ton. We just repurposed them, doing different things in the warehouse, and it's made a world of difference.
So kind of, and obviously just taking a total guess at this, Journeys was in your warehouse. The presence was massive.
Yep.
It felt like it was like 90%. It was.
Journey's about 85% of our business.
Yeah, it was huge.
So and they look, women buy more shoes than men do.
Yeah.
Right. They just do. Journey, we fit within. It's a really great comfort, really great look, affordably priced. The value is great for the consumer as she's looking for something, really cute styles. And so that resonated more with our retailers. And
Yeah.
then we got into men's. We're like, hey, let's try this with men's, right? And see what we can do there. And then COVID happened. When COVID happened, and even not just COVID, but just as time has gone on, the consumer has, especially men, have become a bit more casual. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay to wear a knit shoe to a work function.
It
And
is.
now it's okay to wear a sneaker to a work function, right?
Thank goodness.
And that's where, that Taft and kind of stuff, Vance comes into place. And then we introduced Taft, where it's a product that really stands out. And so I can talk about Taft all day, but what's great about Taft is men generally do not get a lot of compliments.
That's right.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, when you wear Taft, people will notice your shoes and say something and compliment you.
I get it all the time, nonstop.
You're a Taft consumer before we ever met, and
nonstop.
And it really is true that the first time I put on a Taft, and the first Taft shoe that I ever wore was kind of like this. It's actually the one that you have, the Rapido.
Oh yeah.
With this white jacquard print.
And it's so pretty.
I wore it for the first time thinking, man, are my friends going to make fun of me? Or,
dude.
I don't know that I can really pull this off.
Oh, dude.
And man, everyone from a teenage boy to my friends to strangers are like, those are cool shoes. Where'd you get those?
I know.
Right? And so it's a little bit of a, we've made kind of the analogy that's a little bit like when people get a tattoo, you don't just get one generally.
That's
you
right.
get more and more.
That
and more,
is absolutely correct. I'm telling you, I literally own 0 other pairs of shoes that aren't Tafts.
Yeah.
And, usually, as a guy, you'd have, a couple Nikes, and then you have some church shoes and a couple of, now all of a sudden I've got 10 pairs and they're all Tafts every day.
Yeah.
It's like, the only problem is Tafts are like really pretty. So most people don't like wear them out in the garden and stuff. Yeah. But since they're my only shoe, like I just wear them out. Yeah. I wear them everywhere.
That's great.
And so I'm like, so some of them are like, some of my boots and stuff, I do more on like date night special occasions and stuff like that. But I'm always wearing them. I don't care if they ever like wear out because to me, it's just my everyday shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. But so walk me through some of these shoes that you guys have.
Yeah. So this is actually from our new line from Italy.
That looks Italian right there.
And what we looked at was developing a product that makes you feel bold. You kind of stick out when you walk into a room with this stuff.
Yeah.
This is the Tommy tassel that you're holding there. And our brand has evolved over the years from one of our core purposes is mental health. And
I love that.
We've evolved from kind of this mental health of like meditate, breathe, take time out for yourself kind of a thing. And we've evolved that more into compliments, the way that compliments make you feel. And,
I love that.
Compliments turn into confidence for you. And so that's where our focus really is on mental health with men and the bold colors, the bold fabrics, the bold patterns have really helped us, stand out in the marketplace because there's really nothing else like us.
And opening up a Taft with the box and the presentation, you feel we talked about this. It makes you feel almost like the Apple box where you're like, I'm not going to throw this box away.
Right.
It's too pretty. It's sturdy. You almost feel like after you open it that you're like, I'm just going to close it and open it up tomorrow like I never did it before.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good experience, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you like kind of going back from what we were talking about. I mean, me and you are basically the same age. We grew up at the same time. So like right after school, after graduating from college, I entered the workforce and we're right on the cutting edge of like I would have to show up with a tie every day for that's just how it was.
It was, yeah.
And within about 2 or 3 years, it started like falling off.
Yep.
And now it's nobody wears it. Everybody's moved to this kind of like, and it's been really nice. It's kind of weird because like, so me and my friend growing up, we both got married 3 years apart, but I got married back when it was like a black tuxedo.
Right.
And he got married back when you could just wear a skinny tie and it, a different color
Just pull
blazer.
your suit out.
Yeah.
Your suit out of the
Yeah,
closet.
because like I think it's like Instagram came out right in that time period, and now people have a lot more ideas.
Right.
But I like if you look at our pictures next to each other, you'd be like, you're different centuries.
Right.
Because literally within 3 years, it all totally changed. And it's the same thing right here. It's like, you know, the styles that we're allowed to wear as men growing up were just like the traditional black shoes, Sunday shoes, or, you know, brown ones. And it might be a little bit fancy because it has, you know, the penny loafer or something like that. But now all of a sudden it's like, it's, you know, it's fancy. It's like fancy wallpaper.
Right.
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 It's I don't know if you're the same way, but our house is like loaded with wallpaper because we just think it's so pretty.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was just, you know, everything was always just white walls everywhere. And this kind of reminds me of the same thing. It's like, holy cow, it really dresses things up.
It does. It pops, right? When I can't tell you how many friends I have that I've introduced Taft to, and they keep buying them because they're like, man, I walk into a boardroom,
Yeah,
and everyone's like, those shoes are cool. Like, where'd you get those? Everyone notices them.
oh, I know.
Hello? Another trade show just got COVID canceled, and now this year's booth is a bust. There's a better way to get your product into retail. Volcanic Retail is a business-to-business desktop and mobile platform that connects buyers and sellers. Think of it as a highly sophisticated dating app for your business. It's a 24/7 trade show marketplace and so much more. Send direct messages to buyers, view their buying calendars, and fulfill orders all through our platform. Create your own unique company page, tell your company story, and showcase your trending products. Communicate directly with buyers through volcanic messaging. Send connection requests to buyers to form lasting professional relationships and stay up to date on retailers' buying seasons. VolcanicRetail.com is an easy and convenient management tool. You can get your product in front of the right buyer who is looking for exactly what you have based on MSRP, margin, ingredients, fabrics, certifications, style, color, channel, trend, country of origin, MAP, sale through. You get the gist. This year, thousands of companies spent their marketing budget on trade shows that got canceled at the last minute. Volcanic came up with an inexpensive, long-term solution that can't be canceled. Planes have been grounded, and in-person meetings and trade shows may become a thing of the past. With Volcanic, you have 24/7 access to the best marketing tool in retail. On Volcanic's marketplace, both you and the buyers can view your products from the comfort of a desk, at your home or office. Volcanic streamlines the retail process by showing awesome products to buyers that they're actually interested in. The rest of the buying process is simple and efficient on Volcanic. No more weeks of talking back and forth just for a deal to fall through at the last minute. It's time to step up your retail game. Click the link to get your free account today.
My favorite story with Taft is there's a guy that he has 30 pairs of Taft, and he recently lost his wife. The last gift he got from her, like a few weeks before she died, was a pair of Taft.
Oh.
And that's the statement. Like that's to me is like why we do this, right?
I love that.
It's an item that he loved, that his wife knew that he loved, and now he has this keepsake for the rest of his life. And
There's not a lot of gifts like that for men that they actually love. And like my wife is always like, I don't know what to buy for you because you never end up using the stuff that I buy for you for Christmas, because you kind of get to the point you just don't really need anything.
Yeah.
But she always buys me a Taft shoe. She used to do something like 1 year she'll buy me a drone and I'll never use it. And she'll buy me a GoPro and I'm like, I don't know how to set this up. I'm not using it.
Yeah.
Or, just different things. She'll buy me a gun. I'm like, I don't want to ruin this. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
So I'm known for like getting gifts and every year, and all my biggest gifts I've never opened because it's complicated, but shoes is different for me. It's like, yeah, that's just, I don't have to learn. I don't have time to learn something new.
right.
Like I've got, I can use it and it becomes an asset to use kind of, as you walk around and everything else, but it's so interesting. So your play with Taft right now, you say a VC firm. is now the majority of
Yeah, so
of it?
in a few years ago we sold to a private equity firm
Okay.
here in Utah, and then we went through a transaction with another private equity firm in New York, and it's been great. Both companies have been awesome to work with.
Oh, cool.
It's provided us the opportunity to really grow and scale the company. A lot of entrepreneurs and people that start businesses are very afraid of debt. And we had no debt with our company, and that's good, and also like really bad,
It's
right?
limiting
To grow, right? And so the private equity firms taught us about debt, how to properly use debt, how to be disciplined with the debt, and after that happened, we exploded and grew as a company pretty well. And as we've worked more and more with private equity firms, the discipline that they bring and the different insights that they can have to your company can be really beneficial. I'm a big fan of private equity, so
It's really cool.
it can really help you grow.
I want to talk to you about your newest signing with the great Deion Sanders.
Yep.
So tell me what's all behind it. Like, I could totally see Deion wearing this, by the way.
Yep.
Which I'm sure he does, which is why he signed with you.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, how did you zero in on Deion, and how did that whole relationship come?
Sure. So we it's not official yet.
Okay.
But we've agreed to terms with him, and what we did is we looked out at different celebrities. We've had different celebrities that have worn Taft. You know, we get asked by publicists and stylists for our product all the time. And as we looked at kind of who is our customer is generally speaking an urban customer. The likes that's in bigger cities, or individuals that are a little bit more bold. And Deion Sanders is that, right? And so we actually sent him a custom pair of shoes for him for Colorado Rapidos, which is the style that you're wearing right now.
Oh, yeah.
He got them, unboxed them, on his Instagram, and then we sent him some more shoes. He unboxed them. He loves the brand, right? And what sets Taft apart beyond the styling and the boldness of the fabrics and design is they're comfortable.
Yeah, you're very comfortable.
They are generally speaking, most fashion brands, luxury brands, are not very comfortable.
That's right.
And
there's almost no getting used to it, actually. You just kind of
they don't mold your feet or
this
comfort,
is
right?
totally good.
Our shoes right out of the box are pretty comfortable, and that's important to him. A lot of people may or may not know he has some amputated toes. And so comfort is very important to him, but he's also very stylish and wants to look good, right?
And he needs something comfortable as a coach. I mean, I'm sure he's on his feet all day long.
Yeah, he's probably not going to wear these to a game, but he'll wear what you're wearing,
That's right.
to a game. And so we're excited to partner with him. He's a great guy. I think he's maybe misunderstood sometimes by some people, but
I think his son got ripped off in the draft.
His son totally got ripped off.
He was like a top 10 talent and then sliced to the 5th round or something.
Yeah. What's funny is the pressure is no longer on Shedeur. The pressure's on every quarterback that got drafted before him.
That's so true.
Right? That's who the pressure's on.
Yeah, now he can just kind of, he can just sit back and
now
chill.
learn. He can learn, develop, and grow in the NFL, and I think he'll be a great quarterback.
Did you hear about Quinn Ewers?
No.
So Quinn, he went in like the 7th round, and he signed a deal for $4 million for 5 years. But he had an $8 million this year NIL deal on the table for Texas Longhorns. So he just lost
he made more money. He made more money in college than he made in
more
the NFL.
Tons more.
It's crazy.
So it's like on some parts I'm excited about because a lot of things I don't like about NIL, but a lot of it's kind of cool because you get to see these real big talents stick it out for an extra year that you normally wouldn't because they're actually getting paid.
Yeah, they're getting paid a lot of money.
So I'm like, holy cow! Can you imagine giving up? And the same thing, I don't know if you heard about Nico from the Tennessee quarterback.
No.
So.
Oh yes, how he kind of wanted to leave.
He wanted to leave. He had he had a $4 million deal.
Yeah.
So he leaves and he ends up everyone's kind of like blacklisting him. He ends up signing with UCLA, and it's like a third of the amount. Plus the taxes in Tennessee are totally different than California. So he's making like a fifth of what he made
Yeah.
before. He thought he was going to go opt out and go make five or 6 million like
Right.
somebody else, or like Quinn Ewers money. But oh, it's so crazy.
It is crazy. You gotta worry what you wish for. But
So what's kind of the future of the brands? Journey is obviously, I mean, it's become like a behemoth. I mean, it's a big brand. It's very notable. Everyone, I feel like everyone in the country knows of Journey shoes.
Yeah.
So tell me about like what's kind of the plan for Journey long term? Is that kind of that's probably just a hold and keep it play because that's your original brand of yours.
Yep.
And then some other brands you kind of see what you could do to kind of explode them a little bit and get some value out of them.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the thought?
We should bring Marisa Byrne, who's our brand president of Journey,
Cool.
on your podcast because she's awesome. I think she's one of the best in the business. But we want to grow our brands to be even more recognizable in stores.
Yeah.
We just launched Journey with Kohl's in store. And so we're really excited to do that. And
when you do a big launch with a big retailer like that, and footwear, I mean, what's the best way to launch? I mean, I'd imagine there's a certain amount of marketing space that you're trying to allow yourself on the Kohl's floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's kind of your rollout idea for?
Yeah, it was very collaborative of looking at data of what sells and what doesn't sell and the Kohl's buyers talking about their customers. One unique thing that we have as a company is that I don't think any other brand can really say this is we know every consumer who has ever bought our product.
That is
so
insane.
we know their name and address. So we know everyone who has ever bought our product. Where, if you sell a pair of shoes in a store, I have no idea who they are, right?
No,
the retailer does, but I don't as the brand.
That is so unique.
We've been able to go to our retailers and say, hey, you should put these shoes in these specific stores because these do really well in this geographical
So you're educating them.
And so we run metrics. We have a great data analytics team. And so we can tell the retailer by every store because we have the store address and then we have the consumer's address. So 5 miles from every store, we can tell you every consumer who has ever bought Journey.
Holy cow.
And we can.
And the type of shoe.
Yeah, the type of shoe.
Yep.
And so it's a unique opportunity for us to really use our data for that. That's something that it's one thing that private equity loves about us is we know who our consumers are, right?
I bet being in like your brain would be very interesting because as you fly into different cities, you're probably looking at people's shoes and like, oh yeah, I could have predicted that this is kind of a bigger type of shoe right here in this location.
Yeah.
That's got to be really weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's funny because I'll be looking at men's and women's shoes in the airport.
Yeah.
That's all I look at now. I only look at people's shoes.
Yeah.
What's this guy looking at my feet for?
Guy loves the shoes.
And so as we go throughout the country and, I'll recognize our shoes and I'll go up to them and be like, hey, looks like you're a Journey customer and, talk to them about it. But, what's unique about us also is the data that we have that because we're a digital brand, we don't have to change our floor, per se, because the floor is really unlimited. And so as I'll give you a great example. One of our best selling boots is called the Jester. And it is what a retailer would never buy that shoe. It's an old slouch boot.
Oh, interesting.
And they would never put that on their floor, but it's one of our best sellers.
Interesting.
So we continue to sell it year after year, and the long tail of it is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. And so because we don't have shelf space in that, we're not tied to it. So we keep making it every year. We sit there and think, is this going to be the year it dies? But it never does. It never does. It just keeps selling, right? And so,
cool.
It's really fun to look at and see what sells and doesn't sell.
Oh, it's such an interesting thing. It's hard to guess too because like you could be a professional at retail and everything else, and even with everything you've ever kind of learned and everything you ever studied, you still only have like a 50% chance of being right every time. I'm like,
Yeah, like
what was
less
gonna
than
sell?
50% chance.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is really
It
hard.
is really hard.
You look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that'll do well, and you're like, what the heck were all the sales on that?
Yeah, I learned a long time ago in this job, almost my first year. I am not a buyer. I'm
Yeah.
not a designer. I walked into our warehouse and they bought these. This is back when we sold everything under the sun, and,
Yeah.
and we had these leopard, cheetah, zebra print
You're like, no way.
two-piece outfits that like older women in Florida would wear,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're like,
and
you're
I,
not
and I
selling
walked
none
in a
of
warehouse. I'm like, what are we doing? This is crazy that we're buying this stuff.
You're like, this is our best
I
seller.
walked there next week. It was gone.
Wow.
We sold thousands of units in a week,
Oh.
and I was just like, okay, there's a lesson to learn there. Of
There are certain companies like
don't
that.
do that.
There are certain companies I'm like I was totally wrong on the swig play. I saw the first swig in Lehigh, and I looked at it. I'm like, no one's gonna just go there just for a drink, like
An expensive
an
drink.
expensive
right?
drink. I was like, there's no way that's ever going to take off. And then since then, they haven't stopped having lines of customers for 12 straight years.
Yeah.
There's certain things I look at. I'm like, holy cow! I'm glad I didn't bet against that company. They knew something I did not.
Or so you wish you bet with them.
Yeah, I wish I bet with them.
When they were coming
That's
out,
right. I wish I-
raising funds. You're
Yeah,
like,
they call and be like, hey, do you need some more money?
yeah.
I'd like to be an investor. But it's so interesting. Life in retail is so, I don't know, it's so hard to predict.
Yeah,
it's so
it's-
interesting.
It is difficult. It's funny as the more and more I've learned about, fashion and how things come to play.
Yeah.
It all starts in like Italy and Milan. And,
Yeah. Eventually moves its way.
And eventually, slowly, there's that famous scene in Devil Wears Prada where, she's sitting there saying, well, you just think you just bought this blue sweater off the shelf.
Yeah.
And she goes through of how that blue sweater came to the shelf.
Wow.
And that's totally true, right?
Yeah.
The colors of next year are already chosen. Everyone knows
Isn't that so
what
interesting?
color the next year is going to
Yeah.
be, what the hot color, and is it going to be floral? Is it going to be geometric? It's all decided,
It's like
long before.
from Milan to like Paris to New York to LA, and eventually gets to Utah,
Yeah,
and 30 years later gets to Idaho.
yeah. It eventually makes its way to North Dakota.
Yeah, that's right. So that last leg of it goes really slow when you get kind of
Yeah.
rural-
It's
rural
hard.
United States.
The fashion industry, for the women and maybe men out there, chevron print skirts, maxi skirts were a huge thing
Yeah.
a number of years ago. And so we got into that and we were selling them. You couldn't sell enough of them. And then one day they weren't cool anymore, or they weren't fashionable anymore. And at the time we had stores, and we would say, hey, if you buy $100, you can get yourself a free maxi chevron print skirt. Probably about half of the customers were like, I'm good.
Wow.
I don't even want a free one.
Wow.
Like, they're just like, I'm good. I don't want
That one dropped off
It's
fast.
like, but it's free. Use it for a costume or something.
It's a costume. Some people are wearing it for real, and other half are wearing it for a costume.
Right. Yeah.
That's when you know if a trend is about to die.
Yeah. So as we just learn different things, I'm really excited for the stuff that we have coming out on Taft. So we have a lot of, like, for example, driver's mock, right? We never had a driver's mock before.
What does that mean?
So it's just a style of shoe. Generally, it's kind of that shoe that you put on to go to the store in.
Oh, yeah.
Really, if you bend it, it's very flexible.
Yeah, very comfortable. It's almost like a slipper.
Yeah, it is. It's a wearable slipper out in the marketplace. But we've gotten way into, you saw them. They're coming out soon, very soon. Our new sneaker line.
There's so
we have some of them down here at your feet.
Oh yeah.
So really great looking, classic, very comfortable shoes to wear. Before Taft was just dress, right? And one sneaker, the Rapido. But we're getting more of the casual sneakers. We also launched a bit of a basic line for the guy that likes Taft but isn't quite sure.
They're not quite they're not.
They're not quite sure they're ready to do this.
Yeah,
you know,
they need a little more confidence, and then they can make this step.
Yeah, but so it still has a little bit of the Taft touch on the shoes.
Yeah,
and then
it's like a drug. It's like an entry marijuana drug.
It's the gateway shoe.
The gateway shoe.
It's the
you want to wear this.
Yep. And then our fall collection. This hasn't been shown to anyone. No one's seen this stuff. So first look on on the Taft podcast here, but we're doing a lot of holiday, really
cool,
bold statement boots out there for people to really pop. And so I'm really excited of the direction we're going in. And then another thing we're doing is a lot of very high quality hand stamped leathers. I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera or not, but really pretty bold classic silhouettes, but with the Taft twist.
Well, I have to say this is one of my favorite podcasts. It's been super cool, like have you here and chat and talk about the ins and outs of the shoe business and everything else.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So as it kind of close, I'm going to go and I'm going to ask you a really tough question.
Okay.
Your favorite player that was not a Detroit Piston?
My favorite player that was not. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm probably going to say Larry Bird.
Larry was awesome.
Larry Bird.
His backstory was amazing.
Yeah.
By the way,
I love hearing more about Larry Bird.
It's like a garbage man.
Yeah, just like
turned best.
He was so tough. Like, you look at stats of players nowadays of how much they sit out. And then you go back and look at players like Jordan and John Stockton and Larry Bird, and they loved the game so much. They just wanted to play. They're so competitive, and I'm sure players now are competitive too. But it feels like if you've got to hurt anything, you're sitting out. But back then, you got Larry Bird laying on the ground because his back hurt, and then
isn't that incredible?
Come into the game,
Yeah, what's the craziest thing is going to like your local high school. The 18-year-old looks like Larry Bird now.
Right.
You're like, holy cow, I never thought I would anticipate that.
the 80s.
Big old mustache.
Hair. Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, this is a weird universe I live in.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank
you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we'll be following Taft.
All right. Appreciate it.